Sai Ram everyone, and welcome to segment 3 of Journey with Sai. Today I'm having a conversation with our gorgeous Auntie Penny, who has been with Swami for a long time. Sai Ram Auntie, how are you today?
Wonderful.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you so much for joining us today. So Auntie, for those who do not know you, would you be able to share a little overview on who you are?
Wow, okay. In terms of my profession, in terms of my person?
Both.
Well, I'm a Buddhist, as you can see from my shrine behind me. I'm born Jewish, and I'm a psychologist.
Oh,
I'm a
wow,
mother,
that's lovely.
I'm a grandmother, I'm a gardener.
That's so cool. How did you hear or know about Swami?
I was traveling in India in 1979, and somebody showed me a photo of Swami lying on a animal skin.
Oh, wow.
Looking like a movie star, and a number of people were going down to put a party. But I have to be honest, I was completely disinterested.
Oh,
I
wow.
was studying Tibetan Buddhism, I was engaged in Tibetan Buddhist practices, and I thought, no, not for me.
And then what really pulled you to Swami?
That happened probably 17 years later, so in the mid-90s. I teach kind of a Buddhist psychological process, and I was teaching in the United States, and a number of our students were giving me vibhuti.
Oh.
And one of the students was a very well-known devotee of Swami, the daughter of a very well-known devotee, and we were at her house for dinner one night, and she said, would you like a vibhuti tasting session? And I'm like, okay.
Oh.
And so she was sharing about her interviews, and there were photos of Swami everywhere. And we were teaching a non-dual method of awareness, which doesn't involve having a physical guru. So I found it very strange. Like, she's got these photos of this dude, was how I was thinking of him at that point. And we had this vibhuti tasting session, and there was something, I don't know what happened. And then she gave me her mother's book to read on the way back to Australia.
Which book was it?
The Ultimate Experience by Phyllis Crystal.
Oh, wow.
And I was reading this book, and I was completely impacted by her relationship with Swami. And I thought, I want this. After that, we began having simultaneous, myself, my husband at the time, and my daughter began having dreams of Swami.
Oh, wow.
So within 6 months of this, there was just this incredible feeling, I have to go. Oh, and there was one other thing. My husband brought home a video of Swami giving darshan. And when I saw the Indian women bending to take Padnamaskar, I started to cry.
Oh, wow.
It was lovely. This is where I'm meant to be.
That's so lovely.
So it was a real, it was a yank.
Like he really pulled you to his fold, isn't it?
Well, all of us, because the dreams were simultaneous, and it was extraordinary.
How did you change from, without a face, like pray to a face in your mind, and then to a physical form?
Well, I'd had many teachers. So I'd had many gurus over the last 20, 25 preceding years, but none of them were a Sadguru. So they were teachers, and I learned a lot, and I'm very, very, very grateful. And so my training was in Tibetan Buddhism, and that has been still what I practice. But meeting Swami, so when we finally went to Puttapati, it was like, it's going to sound very strange perhaps, but it was like he was a living Buddha. So seeing him, I thought, we have in our midst right now this living, completely awakened being. And I was deeply moved.
He says himself he is Buddha.
I know.
Isn't it?
I know.
And this was the experience. That's lovely. You got to experience this, isn't it?
It was incredible. Yeah, it was very emotional. Yeah. It was like coming home.
Oh, how lovely is that?
Being in Puttapati was like coming home. But everything was unfamiliar because everything was, to do with Hinduism, not Buddhism. So for me, it wasn't so much what he said as how he was.
Oh, the being.
His being impacted me profoundly, transforming me.
The energy was, it was more the
his energy, his being, yeah.
It's more of his energy that really pulled you to his, to him. But is there any teachings of his that, really impacted your life or had any influence in your life?
Absolutely. It wasn't just his energy, it was also all the stories around Swami, all of the miracles that occurred around Swami, his emphasis on love and service and the values, the human values, his emphasis on being the best of whatever you are. So if you're Jewish or Buddhist or Hindu or whatever you are. So many of those teachings influenced me, but more reinforced what I already knew. So he would say things, and I knew that from my study of Buddhism. And it just reinforced that coming from a different vantage point. And yeah, I read a lot. So I read a lot of his teachings. I read a lot of people's stories. I was fascinated by people's experiences.
Oh.
It's interesting. I don't necessarily think about Swami's teachings and then try to practice them. I think that the impact of Swami in my life has been so profound, it just is in everything that I'm doing. And so the, psychology and Buddhism are really where I come from, but Swami has taught me about love. And that love has been the most important teaching.
So do you think, the word love, or not even the word, the feeling, everything that Swami says about love, is it something that is not practiced in psychology, or is it different?
Absolutely. I think that's a great question. I don't think love comes into psychology particularly other than from a place of enabling people to feel secure in themselves, which is different. Okay, so, and you can't really, as a psychologist, talk about love in a way that's psychologically necessarily useful other than from the place of, security and liking yourself and loving yourself and knowing yourself. Whereas the experience of love from Swami is transpersonal. It's beyond.
It's beyond, yes.
And so with my clients, I definitely get to that place with them, but I may not ever refer to Sai Baba. It may come up, it may not come up.
I totally understand that, professional and spiritual life can be different. And this is the path that you chose in terms of, how you manage your, your patients. So, Auntie, do you think there's any psychological practices or treatments which is not in line with Swami's teachings?
I've never dissected it like that. So I wouldn't imagine so. The only thing that I'd say is probably not in line with Swami's teachings would be, Swami sort of talks about surrendering to him and just hand everything over to him. That's definitely not in line with either the way I practice or the way psychology is, because it's about personal accountability and knowing yourself personally. And so that might look like a contradiction to Swami's teachings. However, in so saying, I also do in my own work teach people how to surrender and how to let go. And so that has a highly spiritual overtone to it, but I would never refer to that as surrendering to God or surrendering to a divine force or divine being. So the language would be different.
The language is different.
The principle would be embedded in there.
Isn't it? Yeah, true. That's true. Because I do know, like in psychology, there is this practice that for people, we need support system. But on the other side, Swami also says we need to surrender and we need to detach. And we need to be able to live our life by ourselves, with detachment. So do you have anything to say about this?
Oh, I could talk a lot about that. See, I wouldn't use the word detachment. I would use the word non-attachment. And I would explain that psychologically, that when I place my object of security outside myself, I actually lose my sense of self. Now, this is different to what Swami's saying, and I'm aware of that. So, psychologically speaking, people need to feel very secure in themselves in order to be able to let go. If you're not secure in yourself, this is the difference between having a healthy ego and having an ego that trips you up. So in Swami's teachings, it's about surrendering to him or to the divine, but I don't think psychologically that's necessarily helpful for people.
There is definitely this different aspect in terms of psychological and Swami. But Swami also says, tame the mind and realize the self, which is also very related to, psychological practices. So what do you think about that?
Well, I think it's incredibly important for people to learn to understand who they are and who they aren't, and to understand the difference between identifying with their thoughts and feelings and beliefs as distinct from knowing themselves on an internal level that's beyond that. So I definitely in my work enable that in the way I work with people. But again, my work is so psycho-spiritual, it's really hard for me to extricate. So in that way, you'd say it's absolutely in line with what he teaches.
Definitely, yes. It's very interesting, and we can just sit here, talk hours and hours, how it can be similar or how it can be different.
So I think the most important thing is that people know who they really are, and they discover how to be with themselves in a way that is conscious, self-aware, aware of others, aware of the world in which they inhabit, the mandala in which they live, so that they are more skillful, so that they can live life more happily and more skillfully. Oh, wow. And that for me is like both psychological and spiritual.
That's very interesting, Auntie. You've got a lot of experience. Talking about experiences, do you have any personal experience with Swami or anything that is really close to you?
Oh, I have many. When I first came to put a party, I was desperate for an interview, like desperate, and wrote many letters to Swami. And so the entire navigation of lines and how proximity and, requesting, so externalizing, my requests in a way that I probably hadn't done for a very long time. But Swami was on a particular role with me. And so what he gave me was not that. And I'm incredibly grateful that he didn't give me that, because what he gave me was a deeper internalization of the Guru. So my experience of him was so internalized, I didn't need an interview.
I totally can relate to it. Everyone kept on saying, oh, I've been to Prashanti, I saw Swami, it was this wow factor, and I'd never had anything like this before. We were still very happy, even if we do not have an image of him. I've never seen him personally, so I don't know how he looks like in person. But, he's still so close to me, and that is incredible, isn't it?
Well, I have seen him. So I've seen him dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of times.
Lucky you.
Very, very blessed. I've sat this close to him. I've sung before him, so one of my wishes was to sing for Swami at Christmas. I sat at his feet 3 years in a row, just like in bliss. Wow. So I've had those experiences which meant enormous amount to me. It took a long time for me to get to that place of, I'm actually grateful you haven't given me an interview.
And why do you think you didn't need the interview?
Because he was giving me what I needed.
Oh, is that too personal for me to ask what it is?
I don't know that I can express it. It was an internal experience that was life-changing.
So, Auntie, this is so incredible, sitting there and singing for like 3 years in a row. How was it, singing for Swami himself?
It was beautiful. It was incredible. It was like what I wanted. And prior to that, My daughter had offered the flowers to Swami on 2 years in a row, which was also incredible. The first year I couldn't even see her because of where we were seated. So we had a lot of proximity. We had a lot of grace. We had a lot of blessings. But the interesting thing for me is prior to coming to Puttapati, I really didn't sing as in it wasn't a thing for me. And the second year of coming to Puttapati, I was with a very large South American contingent who sang a lot. We used to sing in the Maidan. We used to sing at Whitefield. And that's when I first started singing bhajans. Because prior to that, I'd never sung a bhajan in my life.
What was the first bhajan that you sang?
What's the first bhajan most people sing?
Mana's birthday.
Yeah.
Well, that was it?
Yeah.
How about you sing a line for us, Auntie?
Now?
Please. Yes.
Manasa bhajare guru charanam gustara bhavasagara taranam.
Wow, that's so like, your voice is incredible.
I don't know about that, but it was so that's thanks to Swami, singing became a thing.
Auntie, without a doubt, you're such an amazing singer. Where did you learn bhajans and how to sing it?
I had a very close Venezuelan friend who taught me my first bhajans, and we sang together in a group outside Whitefield. That's where I discovered that I could sing.
Ooh.
Actually didn't know I had a voice until then. And to be honest, I had singing lessons for many years because I just wanted to sing better.
Oh, that's incredible. You've done a great job, Auntie. What is your favorite bhajan?
Oh, I don't know. I have so many favorite bhajans.
One of them?
Rama Lakshmana Janaki, Jai Bolo Hanumanaki. I love so many bhajans.
So, Auntie, tell us a little bit about your experience at the center. You've been at the center for a very long time, and how it started, what changed, and how was your experience?
I love the center. The center's like my family.
Oh,
so coming to the center started maybe in the end of the 90s, beginning of 2000. I first came to the center not immediately after I attended Puttapati, but pretty soon after. And it was down, Caroline and Mark was where I first went, down in Elwood. And they had a small centre there, and we sing bhajans, and that was always packed to the rafters, and the energy was great. And I vaguely remember my first bhajan there.
What was it? If you do remember.
Ganesha Sharanam Sharanam Ganesha, because that was the safest bhajan to sing.
Yeah, but it's a good one to start with, isn't it?
Actually, that was the first bhajan I sang, not Manasa Bhajare.
Oh.
I just remembered. Anyway, yeah, and just learning to sing and learning to going with Mukesh at one point, and he was teaching me a whole lot of things. He was teaching me the prayers and teaching me the arti, and so because it was all new to me. All of this entire way of doing things was new, but I wanted to learn. And my South American friends also had a big influence because they are so joyful and so full of bhakti. And it was the bhakti with Swami that was the actual thing that made a difference to me. That level of devotion I had not experienced the way I experienced it with him.
And it's actually very difficult, to bring devotion in bhajan because, if you're a singer, you do have the tendency to focus on how you're singing the bhajan, but not your actual feeling, your devotion. It's very difficult to master, isn't it? Is it not?
No.
You've been lucky.
I have been lucky. No, that for me is that's what the singing was about.
Oh, that's good. And that is why, you've been with Swami for so long and you're still there.
I am.
So, Auntie, you also have been traveling a lot. And how does it feel, when you go to a new place and then you find Sai Center? How is it?
I recently went to Bhutan, and also just before Bhutan went to Darjeeling. It was like the culmination of 40 plus years of spiritual seeking. It's like everything came back together. So when I was in Darjeeling, I was in a village sort of in the middle of nowhere, and we went for a hike. And as we were hiking, I said to our guide, how come all these cars have got Sai Ram on them? And he said, I said, is that Shirdi Sai Baba or Satya Sai Baba? And he said, it's Sathya Sai. And I went, really? And he said, yes, this whole village is devoted to Sathya Sai Baba.
Wow.
I said, well, hang on a minute, because when we walked through the village, I heard the sound of Tibetan trumpets and I could hear the monks chanting. Are they also Sathya Sai? And he said, yes.
Ooh.
And I'm like, I'm a Tibetan Buddhist and I'm a Sai Baba devotee. So over the course of the next few days, I was invited to the Sai Center. They invited me to sing a bhajan. I sang Sandeep's bhajan, which I love so much. Rama Lakshmana Janaki, that one. And they all just joined in like I'd sung with them forever. And then on the following day, I went to the Tibetan Buddhist Center and there was a full-length picture of Swami like we have in our center in the middle of their Tibetan Buddhist shrine like I have here. And I just thought, wow, these two paths that I've walked have come together. And here they are in Darjeeling.
Such a nice experience, isn't it?
And when we were in Darjeeling, I also came across a Swami school. We were walking and I could hear chanting and I said to my husband, that sounds like the Vedas. And as we got closer, I could hear the children. It sounded just like we were in Puttapati. And there was a sign, Sri Sathya Sai School. I knocked on the door. I went in, as is my wont, and they spoke to me. And I went and sat with the children and they chanted the Vedas. And then they asked me to chant a Veda.
Aww.
So I chanted the only one I know well. And they joined me. It was delicious. It was so beautiful. I felt so at home.
So powerful, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, Auntie, 100 years of Sri Sathya Sai Baba, how does it feel like?
Timeless.
So
beginningless, endless, timeless.
Timeless, you said. 100 years. You've been with Swami for so long. And what is your advice for the young adults?
So what I would say is follow the ache in your heart, because the ache in your heart is often that yearning to be with in this case, the divine or with Swami. And that ache is not a bad thing. It's actually like a compass. It's like your inner compass. So having not met Swami physically doesn't mean you don't have that ache. And because he comes to us in so many ways, he comes to us in dreams, he comes to us, you'll hear his voice, you'll just have a knowing. Listen to that, trust that. And to be able to listen to that and trust that, you have to know how to be quiet. So it's, in a way, the young adults have got an easier journey in a way because they can't hold on to his physical form. So they have to go internal. What a blessing.
Yeah, it is a blessing. But as a young adult, you've just said quiet the mind. And nowadays it's not that easy. What would be, your practices that you could advise us as young adults to quiet the mind so that we can listen to the ultimate?
You've got to work with your feelings. You have to work with your devices. Put your devices aside. Take yourselves off social media. Actually literally have a month where you don't do anything. Like learn to hear your own inner voice rather than always be seeking something from the outside. And do that with love. But if you imagine Swami sitting there holding your hand or letting you rest on his shoulder, there's something so comforting about that, isn't there?
Definitely.
And so that can help you to want to do that. Just think, if I go quiet, I'm going to feel Swami more closely to me. What a beautiful encouragement.
It is, definitely. Such a powerful message. Auntie, so do you have any plans for Swami's 100th?
I am waiting to see.
Ooh.
So I always wait for Swami to call me. And while we were away recently, I felt an incredible need to be in Puttapati. And I'm just waiting to see how that will manifest.
But just a quick info, we're going to have our retreat this year for the 100th. So you viewers are all invited. So Auntie, what is the bhajan that brings you the most joy?
Probably I Will Love You, because we sang that many Christmases and I sat there singing for Swami. And then back in Melbourne, when we had those huge birthday celebrations, I would often sing that bhajan. And that just gave me so much joy.
Auntie, would you please sing it a little bit for us?
A little bit. I will love you more and more each day. I will love you, dear Sai, forever and a day. I will sing, my Lord, I will serve, my Lord, I will call your name every day. I will sing, my Lord, I will serve, my Lord, I will call your name every day. Om Gam Ganapati Vinayaka, Buddha, Jesus, Allah, Allah, Guru Nanak, Mahavira, Om Shri Bhagavan Sai Nata.
Thank you so much, Auntie. It was lovely. It was a pleasure talking to you today.
And you.
And thank you so much, viewers, for watching today. And I hope I see you all for the next episode. Thank you. Bye. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.